Let's take a quick look at the Configuration tab in RemoteConnect. The Physical I/O page summarizes where I/O channels are on the RTU. And in the Local submenu, the existing Physical I/O modules and channels can be seen. You can see that this window is a little crowded to the right side. We can drag this bar across to make more space. Now all of the physical channels of the RTU can be seen here. We could go in and edit these if desired. They can also be edited from the Objects tab. If we wanted to add another module, we certainly could do that by clicking Add I/O. There are various modules available: output and input modules, composite modules, heart modules. We can change the module's name, give it a unique address, perform other configuration if required. And then we can let RemoteConnect automatically create and connect new objects to each of these new I/O channels. After we've applied this, we could use this module. However, because we don't need it, I'm going to remove this module at this time. Various other items can be configured here in the configuration menu. For example, serial ports. We can edit the configuration of any of the serial ports, providing Modbus slave station addresses, for example. We can configure Ethernet ports, and so on. Now, because we've configured this RTU for Modbus IP client, we can go into the Modbus Master Client dialog and set up scanners to pull Modbus external Modbus devices. We can click here, Add Device. We can configure a device name, a device type, the protocol that will be used, put in an IP address if required, a Modbus station number, and so on. Then we click OK. We'll apply this change. We could add more Modbus devices that we'd like to pull, but if we just select this one, we can add scanners to read or write different data points or groups of points. Here we could, for example, pull 10 analog inputs from this RTU. We can allow RemoteConnect to automatically create Modbus points for this external device. And we apply that. Now we could add more scanners for different data types. We can add more devices as well. However, because again, we don't need this device, I'm going to remove it from the list at this time, and we'll apply that. Now we're going to go back to the Objects tab. Earlier it was mentioned that each object can be individually edited. Its name may be changed. It could be added to an object group for easier sorting and viewing later, and a DNP or Modbus point number can be added. For this demonstration, I'm going to edit 3 objects. First, I'll edit analog input 1. I'm going to call it tank level. I'm going to place this into a group called simply tank for sorting later and viewing. And I'm going to change the logic variable type to advanced analog. What this does is it allows Logic Editor to access both the raw maximum and minimum values as well as the configured engineering unit maximum and minimum values. By default here we can see 0 to 100 is the scaling. It also allows us to access the limits. We can configure as many as 4 high-level limits and 4 low-level limits. For this demonstration, I'm going to enable the 2 high, 1 high, and 1 low limits. And these use the engineering units. We'll configure 2 high to be 80, one high to be 60, and one low to be a value of 20. We'll click OK. I could apply now, but I'm going to make a couple of other edits before I do that. First, I'm going to edit digital output 1 and call it pump 1. And I'm going to place it in that group already created called tank. I'll edit digital out 2 and call it pump 2. And place it in the group as well. Now that I've made all three edits, I'll go ahead and click apply. Now I want to create an object browser to view just these specific objects rather than all objects. So I'll add a browser, and for convenience sake, I'll simply call it tank. We click OK and apply that. Now to add these objects, we select the tank browser, click add entry, and we can add all objects currently in the group called tank. We click OK and apply this, and we're done. Now would be a good time to save this project. So we click on the save icon, give the project a name and a storage location, and click save. When you're ready to carry on, please continue to video number 4.